Sometimes like all you want to do is run. Hear me out,
Good morning, beautiful people. Suzanne, what I meant was don't be shy and say hi in the chat. I didn't complete my sentence there, but no worries. So, is anyone there? Anybody here? I know it's Easter Sunday. A lot of people are probably busy going to church, going to see some family. I'm still here drinking my coffee. And it's good. Very, very good coffee this morning. It feels good. I didn't sleep too well. I didn't sleep too well. I uh, I was still awake around midnight, and I was up around 4:30 this morning. One of those nights, I guess. Nothing really happened. It was just I woke up, couldn't go back to sleep. Well, the snow's done. It finally stopped snowing and raining. Yesterday we had a lot of rain. Well, we've had a lot of rain for the past week. Yesterday we've had a little bit of snow, but it ended up not staying. I mean, obviously didn't stay, but I just hate the snow. So whenever it snows, I just want it to stop. Hey Thomas. Yes, everything is well. Any plans for the day? You guys going anywhere? I I started doing some editing for a video I want to post on my French channel, and I figured since I'm taking footage from the last 3 years and doing voiceover in French, I can do the same thing in English. So now I have to get creative and find something to say on that video to make it appealing to all of you guys. I know on the French channel, I mean it's a way to not promote, but explain where I come from, why I'm doing the YouTube thing, and where where I was able to learn how to grow food. So I'm hoping that not that it will take off, but I'm hoping that people find it interesting. I'm trying to do a little bit different in terms of fade out of the videos and audios and all that kind of stuff. Yesterday was sunny and nice out here. Going to be another beautiful day here today. Awesome. That's nice. If the snow can melt, I'm going to mail a bunch of stuff today, and I really want to figure out how to do more voiceovers and split screens. And that, hoping once I get a computer, it will be easier. Yeah, computer is always easier to do editing. Like I told you before, when you're on the phone, it's tiny. You have to. I don't know. I don't like it. With the computer, you can zoom in on your timeline and do the cuts where you want the cuts to be. Hello, John. Good morning. And CR, how are you guys? John, how much maple syrup did you end up getting? Is the season done? I was in my garage feeding the animals yesterday, and I still have the same issue of water coming out of underground. So, my brain goes in overdrive, and I started wondering, like, is there going to be a sinkhole under my house at some point? Like, um, are we in danger or something? Or um, uh, just give me a sec. And I forgot to close a door that goes where my rabbits are. So the wind is always coming in, and I was trying to close it last night, and I don't know if it's just because everything is melting, freezing, and thawing, and all that kind of stuff, but the door would not close. Like, even if I started pushing it, hitting on it, there was like the the beams went down by about this much. So I don't know if it's something I'm gonna have to fix, or it's just a coincidence that, with everything freezing and unfreezing, that it was just, it's just what happened. It's still going. Awesome. In the sugar shack now, I think I'm 150 liters right now. That's awesome. I usually do a little bit. Last year, I just had enough to make like one small batch, and I just give me a second. I just had enough for one small batch, and I burned it. For the previous 2 years, I was able to get like 2 mason jars, maybe like a liter of maple syrup, which is not much. Like, I don't do it commercially. I just have like 10 trees tapped with like the cheapest thing, do it yourself kind of thing to tap the trees. And I boil it here, like on the barbecue or something. So it gets expensive with the propane that I have to use. Oh yeah, frost coming out of the ground. Wait a bit more. Hopefully will settle. Same as in the spring. Frost drives, fence post, and all that out of the ground. Yeah, you're talking about posts getting out of the ground. I had my pig pen here a while back, and with everything happening with the village, that I wasn't allowed to keep them here anymore. I ended up like getting rid of the pigs, but the fence stayed there. The posts are still in the ground. I have to figure out a way to get them out of there. Now I have no idea how I'm gonna do it. It's probably buried deep in the ground now. I don't know if I can even use a shovel to shovel it, like to dig around. Um, I don't want to I know if you start shaking it, it will loosen soil a little bit and maybe eventually be able to get it out. But I don't want to break it. Last time I did that, I broke a post, and I want to use those T-posts because I want to build some garden beds. And I want to change my garden here into a bunch of different garden beds. It will make it easier for me to remember what I planted where, to separate the things a little bit. It will be more like a market style garden. I will be able to take some of those fencing and make an arch so I can grow cucumbers, on the two sides, like two different raised beds. So the goal is, you guys probably know, but let's say I have two raised beds like this. It's going to be one here and one here. Either put an arch here, but I doubt that it would fit that way. My fences are 16 feet, and I want to do 4x8 garden beds. So it's either do something like this and another one like this, or try just like this, but I don't think it would be like separated enough. I might have to do like from this one here all the way to this one here. So I don't know, I'm going to have to see, but I'm going to need those T-posts. I don't want to go and buy new T-posts when I have some here that are useless. Might as well go make a coffee. As you drive ahead, it rolls and pulls up on a post. Yeah. As you drive ahead. But I don't think that the T-posts are accessible without stepping in on some of my trees. So I can't really drive there. I'm gonna find a way. I'm gonna take use what you have first. I will use a shovel, dig around a little bit. I know it's a it's a rocky place, so we struggled a lot to dig them in the first place, even with the T-post driver. So hopefully they're still in good shape, and hopefully I can dig them out and still use them. But I have a lot of plans for the spring. I just need the spring to get here. I started planting some seeds. I still have a lot to plant. Might be doing that today, actually. I still want to plant some peppers and tomatoes. You too. Yeah. We have to plant stuff in the greenhouse soon. Yeah. I purchased a roll of plastic like 3 years ago, and I completely forgot where I put it. It's close to $100 for a roll like this, and I have an old Tempo shelter frame here, and I need to find the plastic. I have no idea where I put it. It could be in the garage somewhere with all the junk that we threw out in the winter. You know, if I start cleaning up the garage, maybe I'll land on it. Hopefully the mice didn't chew it and tear holes in it. I don't want to have to buy another one. I might have to. But I have a possibility of having another greenhouse there. I just have to figure out where I would put it. And I have to measure to see where it would fit. If I could put it on the side of the house that the wind doesn't reach too much, I could, make it a little bit stronger and keep it there all winter long. I would just need to put the plastic around it, make sure it's sturdy enough, and I would have a place to grow food all year round. I know it gets really cold. Maybe the lettuce won't like it at minus 40 degrees. But if I get an extra month total, spring and fall, to grow food, well, it's a lot better. A bunch of stuff in the sunroom has gone nuts in the last week. Nice. But you guys have a nice temperature compared to what we have here. And it's crazy. You guys are zone 5. Mike and Angie are not that far from you, and they say they're zone 4. Could be because of the lakes, though. Maybe the lakes are causing a colder climate. Hello, Michael. Grow. Yes. I actually have my lead pot hydroponic system in my bedroom, and every morning when I get up, I grab a leaf either of spinach, lettuce, or kale, and I chew on it. I eat it, and I do the same thing before I go to bed. I'll take a leaf and eat it. Yesterday I cooked, it was pork chops, and I had some carrots mixed with sugar pumpkins, which was pretty good. The kids didn't notice, so it was a good way to use the pumpkins. And I had some kale with it. You just do something fancy with the kale leaves. I mean, they're not huge, right? They're like maybe like this big. So I just put them at the bottom of the plate, put the pork chops on it. It ended up being pretty cool. Oh, what's that? What does that do? Oh. Okay, I can star your comment, but it doesn't do anything more than saying that it was. The sunroom also has its own propane furnace and stayed around 22 all year round. That's where all the house plants and that go all winter, so the wood stove doesn't dry them out. Nice. It's a good way to go if you can keep it going. It's not too expensive on the propane though. Like I could imagine the propane being so expensive now as well. But I just have to get it done. I have to find the plastic and just do it. Just go and do it. Darren is awake. Good day, good day, good day, good day. From Australia, Nate from We Are Family. So it's probably evening for you. You must be about what? Probably even more than 12 hours difference with us. So it's like 9:15 p.m. there. It's 9:15 a.m. where I am. Yeah, my plans for this year is to go a little bit more on the long term. I'll spend less time growing like squash and zucchinis, things that we still have. We still have carrots and things like that. Simply because kids don't really eat zucchinis as much, so I'm gonna try to grow a little bit more of the stuff that they actually eat. But I want to start planting and hair grafting a lot of the fruit trees that we have around here. There's so many apple trees that are the apples are amazing around here. I need to go and hair graft some of those apple trees. If I could have a full orchard here, I'd be happy. I also want to have more plum trees. I also want to have more cherry trees. I plan on putting a net on top of my cherry trees because, let's face it, the birds go after the cherries. They're probably the ones going after my strawberries as well. Although I have a lot of mice here, but I also have a weasel going after them, which is nice. So far, he hasn't gone after my chickens. He probably has enough mice to eat. Just a little propane furnace, just big enough to do the room killer for propane around here. Is a pulley heater. It's around $200 a week. Wow. Our town is famous for apples. It's called Applethorpe. Nice. There used to be like a very old orchard as soon as you get out of the street here, like right across. I think it was like this whole family, a bunch of brothers that purchased land around those places. But the ones living like basically they have the land behind my house. They have strawberry fields. See, it's a strawberry you pick. So someone that can't really grow their own strawberries can still go there and save food on strawberries because you don't have to pay for someone to pick them up for you. You just go there and pick them up yourself. So it's a lot cheaper than going to the store. See, that's an easy way to save money on food. You go there, you harvest a lot. It'll cost you maybe like $30 to have strawberries frozen for the year for one person. Or you can go to the grocery store and get them not fresh, sprayed with a bunch of chemicals, and strawberries that spent maybe the last 2 weeks in a container on his way here for about $10, small little basket. It's up to you, but I prefer the fresh one and the cheaper ones. So right across, there was like their brother. He had an very old orchard way back in the days. It was left there alone, abandoned. But the apples apparently are still very good. I haven't tried those apples. I would need to know who it belongs to and ask if I can just go and hair graft a few ones. Rather ask. Be polite, especially since it's private property. I can't imagine they would say no, but you don't want them to just arrive there at some point and see those big black balls on the branches and be like, "What the hell is that?" and just remove it. Right. There's also a bunch of wild apple trees on my dad's land, and those apples are also very, very good. So my goal is to find some of those apple trees and air grab them and bring them here after. So the more the merrier. I also have someone else that moved around here not too far, maybe 15 minutes from my place. She says she has a lot of apple trees and she needs some help building a garden and chicken coop and all that kind of stuff. Jennifer, so I'm probably going to go help her out. And she said she was going to allow me to air graft some of her apple trees. And there's also my girlfriend's cousin. He has a farm. He bought a farm where there used to be an old nursery. So he bought the land with a bunch of fruit trees already on it. So I need to go visit. And he's the one that invited me to go. He keeps telling me just come over and come for a visit. He doesn't want to be on social media though, so I might not be able to film anything and show anything he's got. But I'll see what I can do, if I can take at least a few pictures of the stuff he has. And if not, well, I'll hair graft some fruit trees and hopefully have a lot more here. Because it's nice. And that's what I was telling the kids. I said, this year you can just go out and eat whatever you find if you know what it is. Like, don't go eating leaves of something you don't know what it is, because it could be a tomato plant and you don't want to die, because tomato plants are toxic, you know. But if you see a strawberry, like the kids know what a strawberry is, you can go in the garden and eat strawberries. In the past 2 years, they were not allowed to do that because I was in gardening competition, and I needed to weigh everything I was harvesting for the competition. I decided to take a break this year. That was one of the reasons, because I wanted the kids to be able to go out and simply enjoy the garden as was intended for, fresh food. And it was also very exhausting to have to go all out, weigh everything, because let's face it, I'm very competitive. And whenever I would see there was like a few days without anything being headed up to my document, I was just gonna go out and find a way to bring in more food. Either it was foraging, fishing, hunting, or gardening, or anything like that. I ordered my meat chickens for the year, for the season. I ordered 50. I did 40 last year. I'm gonna do 50 this year. I'm gonna do 8 turkeys. I always end up losing 1 or 2. Let me just and I'm gonna try to have some more pork meat, and hopefully one of us get a moose tag again, so we can go again moose hunting, because I'm kind of running low on the venison and the moose meat. It's kind of funny when I say that to people. I'm like, I had about 250 pounds of pork, about 250 pounds of moose, and another 140 pounds of venison. And all that came pretty much at the same time, well, in the fall, from early October to the end of November. And we're running out. We eat a lot of meat. We was just up the road, have a big dairy farm, but back behind their house is probably close to 10 acres of all mature apple trees. That's where we get all of our apples. Yeah, I'm gonna keep doing that too. Like, I know where all the wild apples are, so usually I'll go grouse hunting with the kids. And now that they're old enough to hunt on their own, they're just not used to the trails around here, because like I was raised in those trails. they don't really have the same sense of orientation as I have. So what I can do is go in a trail, just tell them to go down, walking down the road, and stay straight. And I can grab some apples and then drive behind them and catch up to them. Drive a little bit more. I don't even bring my pew pew when I go hunting with them. I don't need to. So I go and grab a bunch of apples, come back home, either freeze them or dehydrate them or make some apple. I guess you can them to make apple pies later on, right? I should just make a bunch of apple pies because you can buy the crust already done. I don't see why I wouldn't do it. I make apple sauce, might as well do the apple pie. I can also make like apple leather, which is pretty cool as well. Yeah, food all the time. Um, no, because first of all, I don't think it's like legal here. Although, you know, I wouldn't mind doing it for family and friends. But I don't. I don't do it. Um, I don't do it because I can't grow enough for my family, so I'm not gonna sell them. If we eat chicken once a week, there's 52 weeks in a year. So put one moose steak, pork chops, venison, and chicken and fish. So that's five. Went like this, but it's like chicken, venison, moose, pork, and fish. I eat meat at every meal. So we'll take like do some hamburgers for lunch. We might do meat pies for supper. We might do shepherd's pie. During the weekend, we'll be eating pork 3 times a week that way. We might be eating a steak on the barbecue, moose steak on the barbecue. One day, eat venison roast the next day, that kind of thing, and fish the next day. We didn't have as much fish this year for some reason. And, well, the reason is simple. It's been raining all summer long last year. I'm not going to take a chance to go fishing on the sea again after what happened the previous year, 2 years ago. I've said the story before where we were gone fishing. There was a storm coming. We tried to leave. We had a kid on board that threw the key in the water. By the time we found the spare key and we were able to leave, the storm was already started. The motor died on us. We were in the middle of nowhere. We couldn't see where we were going. The waves were really high. It was scary. It was scary. I don't think that drowning is the best way to go, especially not when you have young kids on board. So last year, when it was raining, I wasn't going to go. I wasn't going to go in the water. But I'm going to try to get something this year. Go fishing, mackerel, and I still have some mackerel left. I should actually cook that. It's a pretty good fish. But yeah, no, I don't sell any of my meat simply because there's 7 of us here. We can use 10 pounds of meat in a day easy. So it goes by very, very fast. If we all take like a small portion of a steak, that's 2-3 pounds right there, Eat some microgreens. Yeah, I do that too. I grow my own microgreens, sprouts. I want to start growing food for my rabbits and chickens as well, if I can. Problem is, I don't have a lot of space here. But I realized last year that I had a lot of wasted space at the community garden, and that's something I want to fix this year. I'm gonna be taking one aisle again. Don't know if my mom will take hers, but I guess I'll be growing tons of food again. But I want to get that second greenhouse ready. I want to fix the garage so I can have the chickens in there for the winter instead of outside. That should give me an easier way to gather all the manure and put that around my fruit trees to help them out. I want to figure out what's wrong with my apple tree that I have back here, and see if I can save it or if I have to cut it down, because it seems like it was attacked by some sort of a fungus or an illness of some sort, because the apples are fertilized, they start growing, and by the time they get to a decent size, they get all mushy brown and they fall off. They fall off the tree. So what's wrong? I don't know. And whatever it is, I don't want anything else to catch it. I don't want to lose all my other apple trees. So I don't know what's going on. I will have to read on it to try to find out what's going on. I have a bathtub boat wide, 3 by 9 long. They raised them from mainland out to Vancouver Island and back. Cool. Sips on coffee and wakes up. Yes, wonderful coffee. So good. And then later on for breakfast, I'm gonna go and eat some beans. Kids don't like it when I eat beans because I fart and stink after. And I'm gonna continue working on my video. I've been doing a lot of editing on that video, and I'm glad that I start doing like I save the work as I go. Like as soon as I do a change, I have my fingers on Control S, because when I woke up this morning, the computer crashed again, and I know how to fix it. I just need to take time to do it. Well, actually, I need to find Windows 10, or is it 11 now? Startup USB key, so I can start it up with the USB key instead of using the one that came with the laptop. Because if you know anything about computers, it was only 8 gig of RAM when I bought it, and I removed that 8 gig RAM slot card, and I added 2 of 16 gigs. So the laptop went from 8 gigs to 32 gigs, and I think that the computer was not originally programmed for that, so they installed the Windows version that was having errors with the 32 gig. So I have to install from scratch and not from the laptop itself. So hopefully that would fix the problem. That's good to do. Well, the beans are good. I love it, and it's full of proteins. Anything else coming soon? Well, I have a video coming out tomorrow, actually. Yeah, so I had to do it. You'll know why tomorrow, but I have to finish this one for Wednesday, so I have something to show up for Wednesday. I was like 2 videos in advance. That's what I try to do. But let's face it, in the winter, it's not like subjects can come, like they do in the summer. In the summer, I can go forage one day, go fishing the next day, go in my garden the next day, and I have 3 different subjects and maybe even 6 in 3 days, But in the winter, other than looking at the snow and pray for spring to arrive, there isn't much going on. Sometimes I'll copy project files too, depending on what I'm doing. Yeah, and you're right. It's a good habit that I took of saving because I learned the hard way. Uh, but yeah, if it was something that I was really working hard and it was like really huge long project, I would keep some backups of everything I do. But since I do the editing and put it online pretty much right away after I'm done, um, and there's also the fact that everything is on the cloud. As long as I'm not done with the video editing, all the video footage are on the cloud. So if something happens, I can just go there and download it back and start over. At least it's not like it's completely lost. You were editing too last night. Nice. So you have a bunch of videos coming too. Um, yeah, spring is coming. We are getting rain and rain and rain. I haven't checked what's the forecast like. Shorts and reels. Yeah, I don't really do reels like on Facebook and Instagram and stuff. I should start doing it. But shorts, I do it once in a while. I have one saved up that I uploaded yesterday. I don't even remember what it was about. Oh yeah, I smoked some pork belly and it was awesome. So today should be should see some cloud and sun, 1 degree Celsius. So no snow and rain in the forecast for today. +5 Celsius Monday. A little bit of snow and rain Tuesday and Wednesday. And Thursday, come on. But Friday +4, Saturday and Sunday +7, +8. It's colder now than it was in February. I just reuse my shorts as real. Yeah, does it work though? I thought someone told me that Facebook did not allow that. I don't know. I heard that if you do something like that on YouTube, you can't reuse the same footage on Facebook. I don't know how they would know. But I don't like showing the same stuff twice. People can follow me on YouTube and I'll see 9 Celsius sunny. Nice. That's awesome. You're in a better position than I am in terms of weather. So any other projects for the summer? I want to do the garden beds. I want to do the second greenhouse, or it would actually be the third greenhouse, but it's a big one. I want to do undo the second chicken coop I have here and bring in the rabbits. It's not necessarily that it's going to be a very long project. It's just that I have to take time to do it. Like it might be like a full day of work for any of those things. And, if it was nice, I could probably start doing it now, but it's always too wet or cold. I also have to catch that weasel. I'm going to have to go and put the trap back, try to catch the weasel before he goes after my chickens. And also want to let my cat go outside, and I don't want him to fight the weasel because, let's face it, weasels are vicious little creatures. Finally, yeah. I hear you. You guys had a lot of snow as well. Not necessarily more than usual, but you got hit a few times with the snow and bad weather. Let's just put it this way. I never met people who talk about the weather more than Canadians. They hate the cold for 7 months. No, I enjoy the weather. I enjoy the nice weather. I enjoy when it's nice. I just hate the snow. But like I told you last weekend, I will take the snow over like venomous spiders and snakes and all those critters that can kill me. The most dangerous animal here in Canada, they say it's moose, but like 99.9% of the time you'll see them and they're just gonna go away. I went face to face with a moose. He was about 3 feet from me. He came in the pond while I was fishing and he just drank and left like he wasn't dangerous. Black bears would be something that I'd be afraid to get face to face with. Um, we talk about it whether we like it or not. Nice word in there, CR. But that's pretty much all the dangerous animals we have. We have cougars and lynx, but they're so rare, and most of the time they'll just go away before you even get there. They're very, very elusive. And when I say they're rare, like I spend lots of time in the woods and lots of time. And I've seen lynx twice. And I've seen one cougar at some point. And people still don't believe that I saw a cougar because they believe that they were extinct. So it gives you an idea. It's like this big argument right now. People are arguing whether the cougars are still alive in New Brunswick or not. My grandfather once told me that he saw a cougar back in 1975. But that's a very long time ago. That's 50 years ago. So they were here. People just think that they're gone. But if they're really, really in small quantities, then the chances of them mating are very small. So maybe there's just like a few families and they're very good at hiding. I saw what I'm pretty sure was a cougar in an area where there's a lot of caves in the mountains. So it would be very possible. And where I saw it, I wasn't alone. And someone else and another man told me that he thought he saw one too around the same place, not too far from there. So it would make sense. The animals aren't that bad here. You don't seem like someone who would eat a propaganda. Yeah, I try not to believe the stuff I read online, but it's just Americans see Australia like Truman looks at any travel. Y'all been sold? Yeah, maybe, probably. It makes sense, but you can just go in the States and have a bunch of snakes or anything like that. And you're right, they're probably like never really around you and they're probably not bothering you, and you probably don't have like black widows living in your closet, right? It's just that I don't know. The idea of going for a walk in the woods, and I just hate snakes. Around here, we only have like gardener snakes, and they aren't dangerous. But you're right. Like, I mean, I've never been there. I know some people that's been there, and from what I understand, like, there's not many people dying from animals attacks or spiders or snakes or anything like that. And I suppose that once you live there, regardless of what's dangerous or not, you kind of get used to it and you learn how to navigate through all of that. Someone that comes here and sees a moose might decide that they might decide that they want to go pet a moose, which is a very bad idea. But we know better. We don't have any apex predator on land. Cool. Curious. No grizzly can maul you. Yeah, okay. We don't take selfies. Yeah, don't take selfie with the moose. Definitely. No grizzlies to maul you. We don't have grizzlies where we are. We might have some coyotes, but like I heard of one coyote attack since I'm here, and we can't even call it an attack. It was a bunch of teenagers sleeping out in a tent, and they called 911 because they could hear the coyotes getting very close. But no one knows if they were really going to attack or not. Um, and it wasn't even here in New Brunswick. It was in Nova Scotia, if I remember correctly. But we have black bears, but even black bears, like there's been like 3 attacks maybe in the last 100 years in the whole Canada. Like I can stand toe to toe with the rule if needs be. Cool. Yeah, no. So I get that life is not as bad as I make it sound like, but I don't know. I'd rather have a little bit of snow. It keeps those critters away. Like we have mosquitoes. Mosquitoes are not necessarily dangerous, and I still hate them. I'm trying to see what's behind there. Oh, because when you look up here, it looks like it's a small. This year, like it's a small. Uh, I don't know. I thought it could have been a trophy or a figurine or something like that, but it's actually just something that's plugged in a wall. um, yeah, I would feel safe going for a walk in the woods. I did it before, alone. Even at night, I I walk for about an hour in the woods at night. All I had was a bottle of beer, and I figured if someone comes up to me, I can just smash it and try to defend myself with it. And it's crazy when you think about it that such a small item is what made me feel safe. But by comparison, hypothermia and frostbite are major things for you. Your car breaks down in winter. That could be life and death potentially. Very true. Very true. Um, some people are not necessarily prepared because we get complacent. When we think that we're safe and it's not going to affect us. Um, I never go in roads where there's no traffic. Like I'm not going to go in the middle of the night somewhere without cell phone reception if nobody knows where I'm going. If I go in the woods and I intend to go fishing on a lake or anything like that, um, not that it happens, but I'm gonna tell my girlfriend, if someone's looking for me, I'm gone in that direction. My dad knows where it is. He knows where I'm going. Yeah, it does happen. I agree. It does happen. But like people need to get ready. People need to prepare. And honestly, I'm not 100% prepared. But I should be. But I kind of do the right thing by making sure I go where there's a cell phone reception and not going anywhere without people knowing where I'm going, and especially in the winter. Um, and they say that even having just a small candle in um, your storage bin in the car, whatever you call it, even just having a candle there and a lighter could save your life because that little tiny flame can be enough to keep you to a good temperature enough that people can actually have time to find you and save your life. You don't want to get cold outside. You don't want to freeze to death. And I agree. A lot of people will get frostbites. Uh, it's happened to a guy I know. He was driving a snowmobile. He missed a curve, ended up crashing. He kind of lost consciousness, and he got up, removed his helmet, removed his glove because he wanted to see if he was okay, and got knocked out again. Like he just fell again. And when he woke up, people came back for him, of course, but his fingers were frozen. He had to get them like removed. He lost all 10 of his fingers. He had to replace those fingers with his toes. He's kind of okay with it. Like he's laughing at it a little bit. Like you can joke around. You play softball and saying like, how can you expect to catch a ball with a bunch of toes, like with your feet, and you'll laugh. But I'm sure you wish you could go back and do things differently. Yeah, I agree. Ways to die in every country. Yeah, and I totally agree. We have some insects and snakes, sure. But in major outage, there's people die in their houses. There was a huge freezing rain storm. Was it back in 2017, 2018? And there was like this region in the peninsula here that were out of power for about 3 weeks. There were trees down the roads. People were kind of stuck there. There are some people that were doing donations to help them out. Gasoline, generators, water, and that kind of stuff. And of course, there's always those people that try to take profit of the situation. There were people that went all out, bought all the generators, and trying to sell them for more money. This is really bad when you give the option of someone, either you pay me tons of money or you die. That's pretty much what they did. But some people didn't even know how to use a generator, and they put the generator inside the house and they ended up dying. So it's one thing to be ready, but you have to know how to use your stuff. My dad has a generator in case of emergency. Well, he uses it at the trailer as well. But like if he brings it home and he needs it, he has a way to connect the house to the generator, but keeping the generator outside. Was it in Quebec City that had a long blackout after all the power lines dropped due to heavy ice? That's scary stuff to us here. I think that happened. It was in 1995, 1996. They called it la crise du verglas, the freezing rain crisis. But the same thing happened here in New Brunswick as well, like 5-6 years ago. And I feel like some people just don't know how to get ready. And we were talking after a while. I was talking with my uncles, and he's like, I don't understand why people were starving. Why do we need to bring them food? Like, nobody has an empty fridge and empty freezer on a daily basis. Okay, maybe you only have like 1 week of food, but there's snow. It was full of snow outside. Grab a cooler. It's going to cost you $25. Put your food in, put some ice around it, and bury it in the snow. You don't need to have a freezer. You don't need to have a generator for that. A lot of people have wood stoves. Not all of them. I don't have a wood stove here. Everything is electric. But we know if something happens, maybe I can't make it to my parents that are 5 minutes away, but I can definitely walk 100 meters to go to my uncle's place, who has a wood stove in the house, 2 huge garages, and wood stove in each of those garages. We can go in there and maybe not be as comfortable as we are home, but we can definitely survive a few weeks if we have to. I have a lot of canned food here. I know not everyone is preserving and homesteading and that kind of stuff. A lot of people should. But even if you don't want to pressure can or water bath can your own food, even if you don't want to preserve, What's going to the grocery store and get a few cans of soup when they go on sale? They last for 2 to 3 years. It's not a big deal. Just go to the store, get the food, put it in your, if you don't have a pantry, put it in a drawer somewhere, or put it in the basement somewhere in a box. If something happens, grab that box and you have food. Food lasts up to 3 years in a can, and yet people still wait until the food goes up like crazy to go buy food. Goes on sale, it lasts for a very long time. Buy it. Macaroni and spaghetti comes to $1 a pack, even 79 cents still. You can go to the dollar store, get a can of spaghetti sauce for like $2, those big ones. Buy a dozen of them. It'll cost you about $100, and you'll have about, I don't know, maybe 50 meals for one person, or even for us. 2 packs of spaghetti for $2, can of spaghetti sauce, maybe 2. So $6, we have a meal for 7. So it's less than $1 for a meal per person. There are ways that you can get prepared. Always have matches or a lighter or anything that you can light a fire with. Have a few candles. If you run out of power, you can at least have a little bit of heat inside the house for at least a day or two. Yeah, things can happen, definitely. And you need to know how to use your stuff, definitely. Nate was right. We do talk about weather. Yes, a lot. We were stuck at home for 3 days in the flood. Learned that lesson. We could last a month. Easy if we got in here. Lockdowns were easy. Exactly. That kind of made me laugh. A lot of homesteaders homestead because they want to be left alone. And yet when lockout happened, I'm not going to go whether I agree or not about that, but those same people were complaining that they had to be locked down. But I mean, you already spend most of your time alone in the first place. Now that you have to, you complain. It's like, what? Sandy and Desmond. That's probably Desmond. Good morning to you too. They even have macaroni at the dollar store. Yes, I have tried it before. Yeah. But I don't think that the macaroni at the dollar store is necessarily cheaper than what you would get at Walmart or a different grocery store when they go on sale. The biggest difference I find living in Canada compared to Australia was the temperature range in a day. Yeah, you could have -10 with like heavy wind at night, and within 12 hours, the sun is up, +10, +15, the snow's melting, and it's warm and no wind. I remember some days in Toronto it would be -3 to -1 all day. You have days where it's like 8 to 34 here in a day. Yep. Was it last year? I think it was either, I don't remember if it was spring or fall, but I remember like there was this like few days where it was like +22 one day to like -20 the next day or something like that. It was crazy. I remember going moose hunting at the end of September, and we had to stay at the camp. We couldn't go out because it was too warm. Even if you get a moose, by the time you take it out, it's too late. The meat is done. It's no good. It was +35 with humidex. With it's way too warm. And +35, we didn't hunt. That was on Tuesday. And on Friday, when we got the moose, it was snowing, -5. How about that? I'm seeing the opposite all day. Some days it was exactly the same all day. Yeah, but when I say insane, like, I mean, during the night, it can be -10, and then the sun comes up. But you mean like really in the same from 8 in the morning to 8 at night? Thailand was the same. It would be 32, 34 all day. The sun goes down. It's still hot. Cool. Is my coffee done? Not yet. It's probably cold by now, though. It's cold, but it's still good. All right, guys. I don't usually plan on staying long on Sundays. Sometimes it happens, but it's not necessarily because I want to. Sip some more on coffee. Yeah, but my coffee's done now. Oops. Yeah, that was stupid of me. In 1 year here, our coldest night was -11. Our hottest day was 42. Nice. But I also know that depending on the weather, there are some things that you guys cannot grow there. But I'm curious though, like, would you guys have the climate to grow apples, or you would be more like probably growing like orange and avocados and things like that, bananas? Or I know people in Florida, someone in Florida, I think it was Michael actually, he was in the chat earlier, said something about not being able to grow apples down there because it's too warm. The apple trees don't like the warm weather. So I'm guessing you told me earlier you had apples. You probably don't have those exotic fruits. Yeah, I remembered before you wrote it down, which is kind of cool. So your weather is not that off from what we have here, except you don't have a winter. You're just like summer, early fall, end of spring, summer. We have an apple and grape festival. Nice. I'm hoping that my grapes survived. From what I understand, they need a lot of love, a lot of nutrients, a lot of compost first few years. So I intend on giving them lots of compost this year. There's a lot of places in Australia with snow on top all year, right? I didn't know that. We have cold regions, not all hot. Well, same for the States. You go down in California, everybody thinks that California is a really warm place. But if you go up the mountains, I guess they have lots of snow there as well. Tasmania is like Canada. Yeah, I was playing a game on my cell phone for a while called Walking Dead Road to Survival. And I was in a guild with a girl that was from Tasmania. I actually have her on Facebook. I don't remember her name, though. I've seen roofs and snow pictures. Cool. All right, well, I'm going to go. I see -42 and +38 here. Yeah. It wasn't that cold this year, though. We had a pretty nice winter. We are in the coldest region of the Sunshine State. People think my state is always hot. I will be in my shed in -5. Cool. All right. Enough talking. I am going out. I need to eat. We don't get them lows. I will leave you with some music and talk to you again later. Okay, everyone.
Some things are not the same as they were a year ago, but all will be okay. I move on each and every day. The past is where it stays, way back a year ago. I've changed for the better this time. I thought I would never be fine. I strive just to say I'm alright. And for the first time in a long time, I'm alright. I've seen a lot of change, been through a lot of pain. Some things are not the same as they were a year ago, but all will be okay. I move on.